Hey everyone, welcome to another video. Remember, if you love film, gaming, or television content, please consider clicking that subscribe button because today it is time to talk about my favorite games for 2022. So let's get into it. At number 8, we are starting off with a bit of a hot take. I have the winner of the Game of the Year award at the Game Awards. I'm of course talking about Elden Ring. Now, while I enjoy From Software's approach to RPG mechanics and the world building is absolutely insane here, I did not click with it like other games in FromSoft's library. I still did enjoy a lot of elements to it, and that's why it's on this list, but it still didn't hit those high marks that something like Dark Souls 3 did. Because I personally think that it's just so much more clever to me when they have that smaller scale map where everything is interconnected, and with the open world there are many places to go, but for most of them you are too weak that it's not really worth exploring until you grind a lot. I also felt like I grinded way more in this compared to any of the other FromSoft games, and at the end of the 50-hour playthrough, I was just getting annoyed. Also, I felt like some of the builds were completely broken in different ways. I'm seeing mage builds just one-shot bosses. I played as a strength build, and the last 3 or 4 bosses are so fast, and they just walk through your attacks, so I was just getting super frustrated when it was all said and done. I know a lot of you out there love this game. My friend Sam and I have fierce debates around this game. Shout out to Sam. And man, I get why this game is so enjoyable for a lot of people, but it just didn't work for me like everyone else, even if I really did enjoy a lot of the mechanics. At number 7, I have a game that got dunked on a little when it came out, and I know the PC release was pretty busted, but I play on console, so that just didn't affect me at all. I'm talking about the Callisto Protocol. I just love these kinds of games that are linear and have more of an emphasis on story. I love the atmosphere, and as someone who hasn't played Dead Space, I can see some similarities between this and Dead Space, and I can get why that is so beloved. And I really enjoy this kind of sci-fi horror game. I do see some similarities to Resident Evil as well. I don't think it's as good as the best in the franchise, but at the end of the day, this is a really enjoyable game. At number 6, I have another controversial release, and sure, I think it is one of the weaker ones in the series, but even a weak one in this series is still a good game. I am talking about Gran Turismo 7. Now, I know this has terrible monetization. I hate it, and I wish they didn't put it in the game at all, but you know what? With these microtransactions, I just completely ignore them. Each Gran Turismo game, there is a level of grind anyway, which adds to the whole simulation mechanics. I think a lot of racing games don't work for me personally because they throw 10 cars at you after one race. Gran Turismo gets you to spend a good amount of time with one car before you move on to the next one, and I love that because you grow some kind of attachment to these cars. It makes the game so much more satisfying for me personally. Gran Turismo 7 did deviate away from that a little bit, but it's still there and I do love that. It's why I play Gran Turismo. It spurs on my imagination. There is no story, but when I play, I always just create one for myself in my mind while playing, and these games just give you enough to do that. I love how the game looks. The interiors for these cars just look real, and the gameplay, like all Gran Turismo games, is just the perfect blend of simulation and arcade racing. I really think these games are the best in the genre, and they will never be matched. At number 5, I have my favorite co-op experience of the year, and it is one of the few games that actually supports couch co-op, and that is Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I'm very old school when it comes to multiplayer. I don't care about online multiplayer, to be honest with you. I like sitting on the couch with my fiance and just playing couch co-op. I hate that it is a dying aspect of gaming. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, like Borderlands, is a fully fledged game with couch co-op, and I love that. I honestly prefer this one over Borderlands as well because I much prefer the art direction here. It's a lot more vibrant and colorful, while Borderlands is very drab looking. The shooting mechanics are great, and the RPG light mechanics were a nice little addition. The game took me back to a time around the PS3 where some of these games were releasing, and I remember playing all through the night with my fiance, and those are gaming memories that I will cherish forever, and I am glad that Tiny Tina's Wonderlands brought me some new gaming memories in that regard. At number 4, I have a game that took over the world. I love playing this game, and it will definitely be the indie gem of the year. It's also responsible for me making the worst thumbnail for a video ever, and that is Stray. Now, this is a simple game, and if you're like a Call of Duty guy, or you just like action games, this might not be your cup of tea, but for me, I loved this. It's not only the playing as a cat that was incredible, it also has some very fantastic world building. The game tells you so much without saying a word, and the way the story played out was just incredible. I love the ending, and I think this did way better than it had any right to. Also, going back to the cat mechanics, I love how this game just wants you to cause mischief. There are cups on shelves, paint on roofs, and pianos to run over, and you just want to destroy everything, and I loved it. At number 3, I'm coming in with another hot take, another controversial release, but I don't care because I loved playing this. I'm talking about The Last of Us Part 1 Remake. Of course, people were mad about this. Everything with The Last of Us attached to it makes people mad. And I do get why they charge full price for a remake of a game that probably didn't need a remake. In some ways, they are extremely similar, but I think the quality of life improvements that Naughty Dog made were phenomenal. I had the original game as a 9 out of 10, and the changes this makes just pushes it up to a 10. Now, I know the next game that I'll be putting on this list I gave a 9 out of 10 to, but I will knock back The Last of Us Part 1 a spot because so much of this is pulling off the back of the first one. The story's the exact same, but yeah, I love both The Last of Us games, and I think this as a remake was great. And if you haven't played The Last of Us yet, this is the definitive way to play. And before I get a comment about the removed multiplayer in this remake, as I said with the Tiny Tina's Wonderlands placement, I don't care about online multiplayer, so for me that makes no difference at all. Number 2 is my favorite open world game of the year, and it was maybe the most fun I had when going for a platinum trophy this year. I'm talking about Horizon Forbidden West. I love this game so much, and I am very excited for the expansion. As soon as I platinum this, I was really sad because I just wanted to keep playing, but I ran out of things to do. The story is so much improved over the first, and the open world was just excellent. The game is beautiful, and the subtle changes to the world when you finish a questline were a brilliant choice. The side content has also been much improved. So many of the side missions were beefier and just well thought out. As per the first one, the combat is incredible. I love the tactical element to it, and this has some of my favorite use of the DualSense this year. The resistance when using the bow and arrow is perfect. And yeah, what more is there to say about Horizon? I adore this game, and I will be buying that expansion day one because the Frozen Wilds expansion for the first game was one of the best expansions that I've ever played. I think this one will be bigger and better, and I hope it gets more people engaging with this game because it kind of got forgotten about because the release date clashed with Elden Ring, which, as we all know, was the game that took over the world for a few months. At number 1, I have probably the most obvious thing ever. I really didn't think any game got close to the kind of quality that this one reached, and that is God of War Ragnarok, the follow-up to my game of the year for 2018, God of War. I think this game is pretty much perfect and might even top the first, and that is really, really saying something. The dynamic between Kratos and Atreus is just perfect again, and the additions of Odin and Thor were brilliant. Like the first, the opening for this game is just on another level, and it is just another game that I had so much fun getting the platinum for, and it was so sad to delete this one because I ran out of things to do. When I did my review, I engaged with some of the side content and I completed the main story. Now I have finished all of the side content and it is amazing. I can't believe the effort Santa Monica put in to make these side missions build the world and improve the characters even further. I love the story. It is some of just the best ever in any video game. It is epic, but yet it is simple. There are big emotional moments, and it was a perfect ending to this Norse saga. I don't know if they'll make another God of War game after this, and if they don't, I think I'm okay with that, because the way it ended, it was just a beautiful and perfect evolution of Kratos and Atreus. If you have somehow missed this game, buy it now. You will not be disappointed. This thing is just levels and levels above 99.9% of other games. Overall, I do think 2022 was a pretty weak year for games overall. I'm hoping 2023 will be better, and if there are no delays, I think it will. I'm so ready for Hogwarts Legacy, it's not even funny. I can see myself giving that game about 4 playthroughs. 2022 was a year where I mainly revisited some older titles. I played a lot more of the Mass Effect Remastered trilogy, which is an amazing collection, and I am right now playing Cyberpunk again, which seems so much more improved compared to where it was when I bought the PS4 version a few years ago. Anyway, that's my list, and I would love to see yours. What are some of your favorite games of 2022? And what games are you looking forward to next year? Let me know in the comments below. My video upload schedule will be a lot slower compared to normal for the next 2 or so weeks because I'm going on holiday interstate, but I'll be back with some more videos when I get back. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.